Hello, hello, hello. Doors open, red carpet rolled out. Welcome in to the Tao Manifesting Tarot. This is the platinum version of tarot readings, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm doing that intentionally. Platinum, the highest of values. And the reason is because I am here to help you manifest. It is a God given gift, but it has to be focused. We know how to do it. You do it all the time. I do it all the time. But we have a tendency of doing it in a negative way because that's the way we're programmed to be negative, to talk ourselves down, to think less of ourselves. That's how the people in control stay in control. You're a piece of shit. So, hey, you're going to do whatever. So, we got to reverse that energy. Usually, when we manifest, without even thinking about it, I don't want this. I don't want, I don't. And you get it, and you go, my luck. No, it's not your luck. It's your manifesting. It's your programming. So I'm here to inspire you, and I'm here to do that in the most adult way. I'm not talking about unicorns. I'm not talking about rainbows. I don't care. That's mystic gobbledygook. It doesn't mean anything. There's one astrology reader that's telling you about these waves, mysterious waves that are coming from the universe. It doesn't make any difference because they're going to come anyway. Your response to those waves is what counts. That's what this reading is all about. We use tarot as the centerpiece. I've done tarot for over 20 years, and I've come to understand in the 20 years, tarot doesn't predict anything. Tarot is the science of potential, your potential to manifest. And the cards are talking about frequencies. So that's why on your screen you're only going to see 4 tarot cards, one in the middle, that's an oracle card, kind of sets the mood for the reading, but that's it. I don't need any more than that. I want you to walk away from this thing clearly understanding what the energy is. And to enhance that ability, I also use some astrology and numerology because I've done astrology and numerology for over 50 years. And while tarot is the science of potential, astrology and numerology are the science of cycles upon cycles upon cycles upon cycles within. I mean, it just gets to be crazy. That's why, for my money, most of the astrology readings, including mine, by the way, it's a battle for me every single time, is to sort through all the cycles. And it gets to the point where by the time they're done with the reading, they are into the minutia. Well, your ascendant is here, your midheaven is here, your nadir is here, you got the eclipses moving this way, and it just gets to be just word salad. It doesn't mean anything. My idea is to get you to manifest by clearly, concisely, precisely pointing out what the energetic potential is. And I use the astrology to kind of set the stage for the tarot energy. For example, I have noticed that this year and next year, 3 planets are going to be in the same position they were at the beginning of their cycles. Okay, we got Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto all meeting up right now to where they were at the beginning of their cycles. It could have been back in the 1940s, could have been back in the 1860s, or even farther back than that. Next year will be the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, and that's a Pluto cycle. So all 3 of those planets, if you take the length of their cycles, Uranus 84 years, Neptune 165 years, Pluto 250 years, you take all those cycles, they're all meeting up right now. Same place they were at the beginning of the cycle. So that's part of the reason why you're feeling the craziness going on. There's a lot of energy gathering together right now. And it is critical. Some of the predictions from Nostradamus and other people said something mysterious about 2027. Well, we're not that far away. And with Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto all starting the cycles they began in their first cyclical thing, like I said, it was, I think, in the 1860s for Uranus. Oh no, it was 1940s, 1860s for Neptune, and 1776 for Pluto. All of them coming together right now in the same spots. The energy is the same. That's why there's the confusion. That's why there's the pressure. Not an easy time. But the Oracle card, the card in the middle, says you need to be an observer. Not so much a participator, an observer. And that means take your head out of your ass and really pay attention. Don't go with what's comfortable. Well, you know, ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, they're telling me this, so it must be. Think for yourself. Think for yourself. One of the great fears I have about this crap, artificial intelligence, is that they're finding out more often than not, and no surprise, by the way, that the artificial intelligence is very artificial. It's only as good as the information programmed into it, and it's been giving out a lot of wrong answers. People have been picking up on that. If you are going to allow your computer, your phone to think for you, you're a moron. You might as well surrender right now to the dark forces and say, you got me. You can't manifest if you don't think for yourself, because the pictures come from between your ears, not for some damn screen or phone or what. It's not. And like everything else, the shots from 4 years ago, oh, well, it's going to make everything better. It's safe and effective. They lied twice. It wasn't safe and not effective. And if they lied about that, man, you know there's a big list. And there's things slowly oozing out like tar on a blacktop road on a hot day. Things that are ugly. And so that's why I'm saying here you got Uranus, Neptune, Pluto are going back to the beginning of their cycles when they, 84 years ago, 165 years ago, 250 years ago, are all coming together right now. So your job is to be an observer. That's important. You can't miss. You got to be aware. You got to be conscious. Not woke, conscious. Big difference. So right now, effectively, what you need to do is watch and wait. But pay attention. Again, be conscious. The meme for today says, only in my pain did I find my will. Only in my chaos did I learn to be still. Only in my fear did I find my might. Only in my darkness did I finally see my light. That's why you have to watch and wait. You have to observe. I mean, really pay attention. Isn't it funny that just a week or so ago, Portugal, first country in the world, said, oh, man, look, we are completely solar powered. Man, we're the first nation in the world. Several hours later, they got no power. France doesn't have power. England experienced a similar thing. Italy, parts of Italy, northern parts of it, experienced lack of power. Isn't it funny? They tell you that, oh, go put solar. And then they block out the sun with chemtrails. What? What do you want? More solar, less solar? Even their message is inconsistent. That's why you have to be conscious. That's why you have to watch and wait. That's why you have to observe. Let's go all the way to the left. Perfect card to start, the Moon card. Moon card says that you see some things, but you don't see everything. Even the brightest full moon is not as good as the noonday sun. The moon is really leaning on your intuition. However, could also be illusion, because you don't see clearly, you don't see enough, and so your imagination takes over. And if you're operating out of fear, which almost every human being does, you're not really getting a good picture. Fear. Or maybe to use it in a positive way, how about intuition? Fear is negative, intuition is positive. That's what we're looking for. And to emphasize that fact, we got the Hermit card. Hermit talks about introspection, seeking inner guidance. Here we go back to the intuition again. Part of your watching or waiting is to see how what you are picking up on, and you got to be open, but what you're picking up on, how does it feel? Trust you, trust your intuition, trust your gut. Watching and waiting. What it may do, or what you need to do, is the next card. And that, of course, is the flip card, right? Absolutely. One of my favorites, the Hanged Man. You let go. You need a new perspective. Of course, what you have to do is feel vulnerable, because if you're giving up what you believe to be true and you're finding out it's not true and you're saying, okay, now I'm opening up myself to what is true, that's a very scary position until you make that transition. But that's what it's going to take. You trust your intuition. You trust your gut. Flip the script. When you do that, you got the Two of Wands. Wands are positivity, hope, gratitude. You're able to use your intuition. You're able to use your insights. You're observing. You're paying attention. You're watching. You're waiting for clues, for things. Flip the way you think. You get your vision, the Two of Wands. You can see a new future. You can see a brighter future. You can see a more positive future. The important thing is you can see, but you have to watch and wait. Be the observer. That is the tarot reading for today. Back again tomorrow. Please like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. This game called the internet is nothing but an algorithm game, nothing but a number. And because I sometimes say things that are considered contradictory, although they're true, doesn't make any difference. You get in trouble for being truthful these days, not for lying. But because of that, they kind of play with my numbers. So please like, subscribe, and share. I'd appreciate it. Back tomorrow again with another tarot reading. Between now and the next time you and I do this manifesting thing together, peace and blessings.